Now, the last thing I want to talk about really quickly is a concept I call Triad of Success. Now, this is a concept I've come up with after studying a lot of personal development gurus, reading a lot of books, listening to a lot of these personal development speakers. And I've come up with these three things that I think they are key. They're really important to anybody's success. And the first one is, I've called it work for yourself. The second one is work on yourself. And the third one is serve others. In my opinion, this is what encapsulates what self-leadership is. Now, when I say work for yourself, a lot of people think, does it mean I have to start my own business? Does it mean that I have to be self-employed? Far from it. That's not what I'm talking about at all. When I say work for yourself, what I mean is you need to be accountable to yourself. Even if you're employed, you're working for someone else, you're running your own business, it doesn't matter. First and foremost, you need to be accountable to yourself. It means you have to answer to you. You know, rather than you just answering to your boss or your employer, you need to also answer to you. And on top of that, you have to hold yourself to a much higher standard of accountability than the one that others are holding you. What do I mean by that? If you want to be able to get to work on time all the time, if your employer says you need to get there at 2 o'clock, you need to be able to tell yourself that I need to be there at 1:45. You understand what I mean? That's like the simplest of holding yourself to a higher accountability. Because basically what you're trying to say is that I need to hold myself at a much higher standard than what they do. Because if you do that, you're on your road to success. You know, even the good book, the Bible, there is a full teaching on that. It says that if someone asks you to go 1 mile with them, go with them 2 miles. That means though they require you to go with them 1 mile, you're going 2 with them. Say if they hit you on one side, turn the other. It means have a much higher standard, a much higher level of accountability with yourself than with the one that people are imposing on you. That's the first key to self-leadership and indeed to success. The second one is very similar to that, but it has a slightly different connotation. Work on yourself. Now, working on yourself is very much about daily self-improvement. So many times we work for everybody else. You work for an employer, you work for your job. We spend so much time doing our work. We get so much stress with it. We do everything, and we forget working on ourselves. Do you remember when we were talking about self-mastery, about getting the best out of yourself? You need to work that. You need to work on yourself. You need to study yourself. You need to hone your skills. You need to learn. I mean, I aspire to be a motivational speaker. I aspire to be a public speaker. How do I hone my skills? How do I increase my knowledge? How do I develop these skills? Well, how much time do I spend doing those things? Or is it just a wishful thinking? That goes into how much you work on yourself. You know, I know maybe you have your day job. You need that to pay your bills. Yes. But how much time do you spend on top of that to develop yourself, to develop your skills, to develop your interpersonal skills, to develop your communication skills, to develop your leadership skills, to develop anything, because all those things are important to help you become a better person, to become a better employee, to become a better leader, you know, to get more out of life. So that is really important, and it's the question that we need to ask ourselves today: that how much time do we devote in developing ourselves? And the last one, which I've termed it the ultimate measure of one's worth, is service to others. And I think that should be the goal of everything we've been talking about here. When we talk about leadership, when we talk about self-leadership, it should all be about serving others. It should all be about making a difference to someone else's life. Do you remember when I was talking about the highest level of existence, the interdependence one? It's when you can look beyond yourself and look at outside and say, right, how can I make a difference in someone else's life? And if you go through history and look at those great leaders and successful people throughout time, we don't remember their success because of what they did for themselves. We remember their success for what they did for others every single time. So really, that is like the pinnacle. That is like the ultimate aim of existence, ultimate aim of life. How much do we serve others? So the Triad of Success: work for yourself, work on yourself, and serve others. And I think that sums up what self-leadership is all about.